Hey guys, E for Evan, as in they call me Mighty Ev, and today we're finally starting the every episode of Dan Schneider Reviewed, in which I guess the first season of this entire thing is Drake and Josh Season 1! Now, if you don't know, this is a parody, or I guess in a way, an indirect spin-off of one of my favorite YouTubers, PIEGUYRULZ show, every episode of SpongeBob Reviewed. I highly recommend it, even though I do think the first couple of seasons, though I do have a similar style of format, are nowhere near as good or interesting as his later work. Besides, a lot more interesting to see him rage a bit with season 6, 7, and occasionally in 8 and 9A. Trust me, when we get to the later stuff from this producer, I am going to rage a lot. But anyway, if you don't know, Dan Schneider is a Nick producer who makes sitcoms with the abominable laugh truck, such as what we're doing now, The Amanda Show, all that, iCarly, Victoria, Sam and Cat, Henry Danger, Game Shakers, etc. Now here are the shows I'm going to review. I'm not reviewing Keenan and Kel, as that wasn't created by him, and I haven't seen every single episode of that, but from what I've seen, it's a great show and I highly recommend it. I'm not looking at Zoe 101 as I've only seen about 5 episodes, but from what I've seen, it's a decent sitcom. I'm not doing any sketch comedies, so take out all that or The Amanda Show. I'm not doing Sam and Cat, as although I think it's terrible, I haven't seen every episode. Though, what I've seen, it's just a poorly written and paced spin-off. Oh, Jesus. The stones I'm doing are Drake and Josh, iCarly, Victorious, Henry Danger, Game Shakers, nothing else. Now, I'm thinking about doing future Dan Schneider shows, but since Nick likes to drain Dan Schneider to his least potential because the executives and Nick are SpongeBob fanboys and probably dropped out of high school anyway, we're going to go down that order. And start off with Season 1 of Drake and Josh. Thankfully, none of these episodes will be remotely as long as the SpongeBob reviews because the maximum of those seasons are about 50. I blame Season 7, not me. Whereas the most of these shows is about, I don't know, 25, I guess. So let's get on with the first episode of this. Episode 1, Pilot. Cool dude Drake Parker is now stepbrothers with an optimistic nerdy doof named Josh Nichols. They try to adapt and become great stepbrothers. As the first episode of the show and just of all shows Mr. Schneider has created, this episode is absolutely... it's not bad or anything. There's not much at fault here, but it's not great either. So let's break it down by story. So first off, Drake comes home and sees his mother and some dude making out, and admittedly it's kind of funny how he reacts to it. Then it's later revealed that they're going to get married. It's revealed the man is Walter, Josh's dad, a dorky kid who's husky and is a bit of a goofball. Drake freaks out and the theme song plays. I'm not gonna lie, the face Drake makes when screaming sort of creeped me out when I was young. I think it's the fact he's squinting his eyes and the fact that the zooming camera is... I don't know. Later, Drake finds out Josh was pretending to be a writer for the school newspaper. However, in order to him... okay, this is taking forever. I'm doing the Cliff Notes version of this. Later, Josh gets himself into a fight with the big dude while Drake is on a date, so he learns karate in one day. But it later turns out to be wasteless because he got punched in the face and knocked unconscious. Drake and Josh are now happy with each other now, and they become good stepbrothers. On the one hand, this episode does have a few funny jokes, like the karate montage, and to be fair, it's good to see these two have such a compassionate friendship, or brothership, however you want to put it. Also, Megan, Drake's little sister, is really annoying here. Trust me, when we get to like season 3 or so, she gets really annoying, but she's fine here. However, the reason this is, while kind of high, meh, is because, well, really, the episode does have some filler-ish moment and just some stupid lines and segments, occasionally anyway. Like the fact that the girl Drake likes is so shallow when Josh is nearly killed by this Buffy dude. As we go along these shows, you'll know that besides like 1 or 2 episodes, Dan really makes the girls on the shows be really shallow and just pathetic. It's sad, honestly. But back to this, I also find the one scene where Drake and Josh find water because they ate spaghetti with hot sauce to be some admittedly really bad filler. Yeah, it's amusing, but it has nothing to do with anything else in the episode. So yeah, this is an okay episode. It's close to being good, but because of just some starting elements that don't fare with me and just some really bad filler occasionally, this is just an okay episode. Definitely better than the next episode. Episode 2, Dune Buggy. Drake and Josh get a Dune Buggy and they start playing with it until Drake hurts himself by damaging it. Wow, let me just come out and say that this episode is meh, but golly, was it so close to being Batty McFatty. Why? Because honestly, the story is lame and predictable. The ending is so stupid, it makes no sense. It just makes Walter and Aubrey, their mom, just incredibly stupid. The fact that Josh is just caught for everything and Drake gets away is just annoying. And this episode just angers me at points at how stupid the plot can be. However, to its credit, it does have funny moments, and I believe there aren't any filler moments in this episode. I won't give out specific lines, but there are occasional times where I legit laughed at Drake's antics, and that's why this is a meh episode. But golly, there are a lot of things I do not like in this episode. Episode 3, Believe Me, Brother. A girl who fell in love with Drake is now starting to like Josh. So, for some reason, this episode and the rest of Season 1 haven't aired on TV for like 5 years. It's so odd, but thankfully I've seen all these episodes one way or another. However, this and the episode after the next one are the ones that I least remember. And honestly, I'm not as elaborate with the next episodes because I haven't seen any of them in a long time. However, I do remember some parts, and I can safely say that this is a good episode. It's not great, and it was dangerously close to being meh, but I still find it to be entertaining and it has an interesting story. And that's all I have to say. It's not fantastic, but it's better than the last 2 episodes. Episode 4, Two Idiots and a Baby, even though Josh is kind of smarter than Drake. But anyway, Drake and Josh have to watch a baby, but have some struggles with it. So obviously this is a watching the baby trope, and I think this episode does it near perfection. The gags here, while not laugh out loud funny, are really entertaining, and it's just funny to see how Drake and Josh play out this trope. I also like how they incorporate the aspect of Drake's band into this. I just think the story is balanced well with the comedy. So yes, this is of course a good episode, and miles better than what we've looked at so far. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about the next episode. Episode 5, First Crush. Josh has his first crush and accidentally says that he can play guitar, but that's Drake's thing. One cool thing about this episode is that the girl that's in this episode is played by Aaron Chambers, who's in NCIS Los Angeles, Scandal, etc. I don't watch neither of these shows, but that's just a little tidbit. No, that's not the biggest thing. I'm just gonna get straight to it. This is a Batty McFatty episode. Why? First off, this episode's comedy is so bland, and this entire episode is so forgettable. The only line I can remember from this episode is the line of "Headaches! You give me headaches!" And to be fair, it's amusing, but everything else is just Second of all, I'm pretty sure it's unrealistic for someone about 15 to have a crush now. Josh may have been asexual this entire time. If that's the case, why would he not act so awkward around Tiffany in the pilot? It's just so stupid when you think about it. And lastly, Megan is annoying here. The whole snake gag is just not funny, and not only do snakes kind of freak me out, especially anacondas and boas. I mean, I'm not scared of them, but if I was in front of one, I would just run away as quickly as possible. Or if I did run away, sorry, back on topic. It's just a stupid gag. Back on topic, this is just a lame episode. Consider it on the lighter side of Batty McFatty, but golly, this is just a bore to sit through, and it's not funny. Episode 6, Grammy. Josh's grandma comes and visits, but she starts to beat on Drake. Now, if you thought Two Idiots and a Baby was funny, this episode is absolutely hilarious. Even though I haven't seen this since like 5 years ago, I do distinctly remember this episode. All the gags are really funny, and it's just so rewarding, especially looking at the future of the show, to see someone harp on Drake, and finally a girl not finding him charming. I just love this episode. It's a good episode, and that's a huge understatement. And that is every episode of Drake and Josh Season 1 reviewed. Let's look at the stats. 3 good episodes, 2 meh episodes, and 1 Batty McFatty episode. Now, despite the fact that these are good stats, I gotta give Drake and Josh's series opener an overall meh rating. Why? First off, this number of episodes in this season is absolutely pathetic. I think I can give them the excuse of trying something for the first time in their company, and by something I mean making a show. But Dan has worked with Keenan and Kel, and that show's first season had, I don't know, about 20 episodes or so. So I don't know if I should be blaming Nick or the studio itself. Next, well, to be honest, as a starter, it just looks very obsolete compared to some of the later stuff we're going to look at. Honestly, some of the best qualities about this show I can get in a later season from the show or another show from the company. It also sort of surrounds the meh quality overall. The best seasons of this season, while really good, for the most part, aren't laugh out loud funny. And the worst episode, or episode in that matter, is bad but not terrible. It just comes all to an okay rating. Now, let's just say the best and worst episode. The best episode is Grammy. It's a hilarious plot and it really works. The worst episode is First Crush. It's bland, not funny, and the gags are really stupid. Well guys, tune in for season 2. Spoiling this now is going to be a lot longer and a lot more interesting than this. But guys, I'm Evan from They Call Me Mighty Ev, and hope you have a great day.